I just got off a sales call with a luxury development, and while we were talking, I was just I've heard all of these things so frequently from luxury developers and luxury builders. So I wanted to just kind of go through what was going through my head during that call. I made a micro marketing audit for this developer, but I kind of made it more anonymized. If you are a luxury builder or developer, hopefully this will help you while you're thinking about your marketing. So, first and foremost, they're saying we need leads now and we don't want to invest in marketing money because we've already invested so much money into this neighborhood. Isn't that just the story of my life so frequently, right? We have this amazing vision and nobody's really thought about how we're going to market it, but that's fine. We have a great realtor. They're going to sell everything. And now we're at a point where we're like, all right, let's just buy some Google ads because we need to sell these houses. So we wanted bottom of funnel conversions and we wanted lead gen. And we had a website that was getting very little traffic. And then the realtor has been the only one that's brought in the leads from open houses. That is so common, isn't it? I mean, we don't want to invest tens of thousands of dollars into a website that's made for just this community. We don't want to build out the whole marketing foundation. We don't want to make social accounts pay for speculative video marketing that we don't really see converting to the bottom line. I guess I'll start with what I don't like about the current situation, and then I'll go into why my ideas made sense. So, what I don't like is bottom of funnel conversions. This is such a high trust transaction. We can't treat it like pressure washing sales or, I don't know, HVAC or something. People aren't just going to search luxury neighborhood in my city and then just go and book an appointment instantly. So we're looking at bottom of funnel conversions. We're talking about Google Ads, and the website calls to actions, like many, are just contact us to learn more or contact us to schedule an appointment. There needs to be more calls to action once people do get on the website. So even if we're running Google Ads to the website, once they're there, they're so unlikely to schedule an appointment with a salesperson. Me personally, that's the last thing I want to do. There needs to be a easy, high value reason for people to opt in. Find out about financing, or maybe there is like a download. Those still work in the home building industry, a PDF download of some type. Download the plans. So don't do bottom of funnel conversions, and don't just put a sales appointment on your website and expect people to convert. Don't do lead gen. And it's so hard to hear this advice because the issue is acute. So frequently when builders are talking about marketing, it's because there's nothing coming in and there's no money to invest in marketing. So you need to see an instant ROI. But if you're trying to do lead gen, you need to be ready to spend a bunch of money before anybody converts because it's so unlikely that people are going to convert for such a high ticket item. So don't do lead gen. There was some things on the website where it's like not a great user experience. A lot of the time we'll think about the website from a sales perspective, and we'll have this amazing sales brochure, and then we'll be like, all right, let's just put that on the website. Make the website into its own version of the sales brochure. If that's so well crafted, spend some extra effort to make it consumable by more people instead of just a PDF on the website. And then the SEO, it just wasn't professionally done by an SEO pro, which I totally understand. You can't invest thousands and thousands of dollars into a website when you're unsure what aspect of the marketing will be the most important. So here were my ideas from the top down. I mean, first and foremost, to me, this seems like high touch. There's so little budget to invest in things that take longer, like SEO or social media marketing. Doing something that's high touch instantly helps you become human and helps build your trust with the clients and with the people that worked on the homes. So it sounds like the leads in the past had come from open houses, but I would do not just direct to the consumer open houses. I would do actual event that's inside one of the spaces. You bring in all of the different partners, the trades, the realtors, and then maybe some of their clients. If you do have any leads or even just slightly cool leads to bring in, invite these people, have a jazz duo or something, make it an actual really nice evening. And all of those trades, that'll be on the top of their mind while maybe they have a new lead coming in. Even if you already have your plans done, bring in the architect to appreciate them, bring in the designers and everyone that worked on the house. That just hijacks the trust building, and it's all these people are already doing at least a little bit of marketing to bring in your demographic. So just looking for referrals and trying to increase your referrals. To me, that seems like the only thing they could only afford to do one thing, and that seems like the only thing I would do. So yeah, those were my top three things. Actually, good events too, and not just like, oh, we got a coffee truck and we're doing an open house, and actually market those events too. Parade of Homes, make an amazing exclusive event around the Parade of Homes and buy ads in the Parade of Homes magazine or whatever Parade of Homes you're promoting. Actually do campaigns around those events. So yeah, another way you could do a campaign around that is all the partners' email lists. And just in general, utilize all the partners' email lists and actually use good content. Maybe a couple of them might have an email list. I bet most of them won't have an email list, but you might get a couple gold mines in there. And if you come to them saying, hey, whoever's doing your marketing, we're going to make their job easier. We're going to actually make really good content. Maybe you do a video walkthrough and then you turn that into a story, and you actually make nice content that people want to read that is not bottom of funnel content. And you do a few e-blasts with everyone's newsletters and do a collaboration. We'll promote you in your newsletter and in our newsletter. And that's a super low cost way to build trust with people. So to me, the next thing was Instagram. It felt very much like we were hoping to spend some money on digital marketing. And I was saying probably don't do Google ads, do Instagram ads instead. You can still get pretty targeted and you're selling something that's so visual and beautiful. I was saying just get a great video marketing person or agency locally to shoot and manage the ads, and then it's more likely to work well because they'll be studying, what's the first line that you should say or the first thing that'll stop the scroll. If you're in an area where luxury communities are built, then this person probably has some experience making ads for high-end luxury homes anyways. So if you're wanting to pump money into some paid digital advertising, I would go Instagram. Maybe one of the partners has a good Instagram already too. And custom luxury homes and luxury homes are a great thing. Instagram is a great platform to market them on. And then I already talked a little bit about calls to action. If your website is getting traffic, which I doubt it is in this stage, then think a lot more about building the trust on that and having better calls to action. Essentially, you're just trying to give people any reason to opt in that isn't scheduling an appointment, right? And then actually utilize that stuff. So immediate follow-up when people do schedule appointments, and then a welcome series when people opt in. They actually get emailed or contacted and get more content and get more value from giving you their email address. And then on the website and in your content, you also want trust signals. So you could do FAQ, blogs, financing questions. You could start to try to do some SEO-based blog content and content with people in it who built the homes, or get your clients to talk about it. That would be ideal. So I put those a little bit lower on the list. I mean, it's extremely important, but probably not an issue until you actually have traffic to your website. I mean, right now it seemed like the website was really beautifully built and it did a good enough job of, if you already had contacted someone and been referred to the website, then you kind of knew what to do and you could consume the content. So it makes sense as to where the website is so low on the funnel. If that's the only purpose it serves, then don't focus so much on making it a top of funnel tool. If your entire top of funnel is high touch in-person events, then sure, don't invest a bunch of money on your SEO. And then the last category was feeder markets. Maybe you have some people you can partner with in other markets that people are constantly building second homes in, or maybe a lot of people come to you for their second homes. Maybe you have a partner in those markets. Virtual tours, maybe that could be an option where it's an actual appointment, but the realtor is in the space taking you through it. You can also do walk the plan. I think these are so cool. It's basically a big warehouse and they project the plan onto the floor, and you can do that in bigger cities to nurture your leads. So, in conclusion, I guess the broad concept is luxury is high touch. Nurture your in person relationships if you can't do a bunch of digital marketing. And if you can do a little bit of digital marketing, then get people to opt in at the top of the funnel and then nurture them once they're opted in.